This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Okay, are you ready to join us on our journey this week across Asia and the world? From an Asian perspective, we bring you the developments that we as a nation must be updated on. And we have a very distinguished guest this week, and we're very happy to have him. This is Ambassador Jose Romero, who has had a long career in business and in government. He has been, or he was once, with the United Nations organization as Secretary General of the Common Fund for Commodities based in Amsterdam.
Executive Director.
Executive Director.
Yes.
And of course, he has been Ambassador to Italy, representing our country. He is presently leading or heading the Philippine Council for Foreign Relations. He is writing a column in the Manila Times and very active in the discussion and debates on our foreign policy. So we're very happy to have him. Joe, say hello to our audience.
Well, hello to your audience here and abroad. Apparently this is
Yes, of course.
global, right?
Yes, and we, of course, after our show here on GNN, it's on YouTube, and we have our Facebook presentation also, Twitter, and so on. So we'll tell the public how to access our shows on Facebook and Twitter later on. But we have three segments generally here. We have people and places, and often this is about Filipinos in China working, earning a living, enjoying their vocation, careers in China, and of course all over the world. And we have our Asian and emerging nations news, and finally our Philippines-China focus, where we will feature your comments in your column recently in the Manila Times. But right now, let's go on to our compatriots in Xiamen, China, who has made great strides. Are we ready with that audio clip and visuals of three Filipinos who are entertainers in China and pooled capital to start a cake shop that has become a hit in Xiamen?
Mga kababayan, magandang araw ng Miyerkules. Ako po ang inyong host, Mac Ramos. Welcome sa programang Mga Pinoy sa China. Hanap niyo ba ang cake na gagawing mas espesyal ang anumang okasyon? Personalized ang cakes ng Cake Fairy. Higit sa lahat, taglay nito ang pusong Pinoy. Pakinggan po natin ang kwento ng Cake Fairy na makikita sa Xiamen, lalawigan ng Fujian ng China.
Kumusta ang buhay-buhay ng mga Pilipino dito sa China? Alamin sa programang Mga Pinoy sa China.
My name is Lynette Gaurino. I've been here in China for 15 years. And I started actually the Cake Fairy since 2014.
My name is Dandie Roble. I do designs. I'm Wilfredo de Claro, but they call me Kokoy. I stayed in Xiamen for 15 years, same as Lynette. Came here together in 2001. I worked here as an entertainer and then get a new venture with Cake.
Okay, that's the first segment, and isn't it interesting and exciting to realize that there are many Filipinos working in and enjoying their lives and remitting their earnings to the Philippines, but at the same time they have enough to pull capital together to start a business.
Right. Well, this is just revisiting history. I mean, the relationship between this country and China has been there for centuries. We seem to forget. And some of the big investors in China today are Filipinos. Bankers,
Carlos
traders.
Chan, for example, the owner of Oishi.
Yes,
Of course, some people misunderstand and say, why bring capital to China?
yes,
But what Carlos Chan explains is that I earn 10 times more in China
yes,
and bring it back to the Philippines.
yes.
Because the 1 month's sale in China of Oishi is equivalent to 1 whole year of Oishi sales in the Philippines.
I'm sure, yes.
And of course, way back in 1417, the Sultan of Sulu made a tributary trip to China
Yes,
and was received as a brother of the emperor.
yes.
And you made a film about that.
My brother, Eddie Romero, the
Yeah.
national artist, made this film in collaboration with the Chinese government. And this is filmed in the Forbidden City. The Sultan died there on his way back.
That's right, yeah.
But his family stayed there, and I think they're still in Guangdong.
Have you visited the tomb of the Sultan of Sulu?
I haven't actually, but they said they're going to, apart from the tomb, they're going to erect a monument. in
Well,
the,
it's in Shandong, China. A Philippine delegation, which included me, traveled to Shandong in 2015 September with
Yes.
sila Ellen Tordesillas and others.
Yeah.
We should arrange to visit that
Yes,
tomb again.
yes.
It's very significant, and the descendants of the Sultan of Sulu
Yes,
are still very well taken care of there.
yes.
So anyway, let's look at the following audio.
Kung tutuusin, wala nang patutunayan pa bilang mga performers sina Lynette, Kokoy at Dandie dahil establisado na at malawak na rin ang kanilang network sa China. Pero nais nilang kumawala sa tipikal na buhay OFW at gustong may mapuntahan ang kinikita. Dahil dito, binuksan nila ang Cake Ferry.
Kumusta ang buhay-buhay ng mga Pilipino dito sa China? Alamin sa programang Mga Pinoy sa China.
Paano nagsimula ang Cake Ferry?
Nagsimula ang Cake Ferry dahil sa, merong holiday kami for 1 month, Chinese New Year yun. So since wala akong ginagawa masyado, so I started making cakes and making cakes through internet. It really helps a lot. Minsan nga yung iba parang, kasi merong mga din dito, mga chefs, so parang hindi talaga yan nag-study ng culinary, so yung ganun, parang minamata ka. Pero for me, I never give up. Tapos, I'm lucky kasi meron yung banda ko. So, sila yung kumakain sa niluluto ko. Ano ba to?
Yung parang mga nasa kami, mga QC. Kami yung critics.
Critics.
Kulang
Oh,
sa tamis
sorry.
doon o para sobrang ano. Ganun.
Okay.
So-
Kaya nga tumataba.
So, after that, sinusuportahan naman ng mga tao. So, after a year, I asked them like, come on, we open a shop. So, of course, sa kanila din, parang it's really good to do something else also aside from singing. Kasi we have the free time on the daytime. So,
Pero Kokoy was sharing earlier yung deeper meaning of Cake Ferry.
Yes,
Bilang
yeah.
OFWs,
Yeah.
kailangan you manage your finances well. Expound mo yan, Kokoy.
Kasi yung parang ganun ba na pag sakali yung kasi sa mentality natin mga Pilipino, lalo na pagkaling kang abroad, na kahit ka ng kahit, tapos yung kinikita mo, nasa isip mo na para pang uwi lang ba? Yung makauwi ako, makapadala ako sa Pinas na buwan-buwan, na which is parang dyan lang na level, parang stagnant lang ba? Parang hindi ka talaga kung yan lang palagi mong iniisip, di ba? Na trabaho ka, katapos ng buwan-buwan makapadala ka sa Pinas, at tapos pag uwi mo may mababaon ka, mabigay ka sa mga kaibigan mong nag-aabang doon or sa mga natin na yun, which is which makes us happy sometimes, when we go home na make us proud. But after that, ikaw rin na mag-suffer. Pagbalik mo, wala ka ng pera. Minsan, maglulun ka pa dun loan ka pa sa Pinas kasi kailangan mo pambawal pa uwi or pang-iwan sa pamilya mo. Kasi which is sad ba, na lagi na lang ganun. Tapos yung time na tumatanda ka, is, paano na kung darating yung time na hindi ka na makatrabaho?
Especially with our work.
Paano na yung time na, lalo na kami mga entertainers, kailangan talaga kami 15 years na kami dito, so medyo nakumugat na.
Bata. Tapos actually
yung ganun pa. So naisip namin na maybe it's about time na tayo ng ibang venture na parang ganun ba. At least we tried na ganun. Kung hindi man lang, kung hindi ito maghanap na rin pa rin never give up, ng ganun lang. Pero sa ngayon naman, at least happy naman kami sa naging decision namin na ganun, nag-open kami. Kasi it really helps us kasi to eliminate those wasted time na.
Pwede ko malaman yung total investment ninyo sa Cake Fairy?
270,000
renminbi.
Nag-ROI
na ba kayo?
Actually, the first 3 months, it was really good. And then, dahil sa winter, I think all restaurants will agree with me, or all businesses, dahil sa malamig, ulan, especially with the weather in this area, less passers. And so there's less customers. So it wasn't really that good. But then, meron pa rin kaming cake orders. So we were able to survive on those rainy days. So until now, now it's getting better again kasi medyo mainit. So far it's good.
So hindi pa kayo nangangamba?
Hindi pa.
Hindi pa. Okay. So the fairy is smiling upon Cake Fairy.
Isang customer na nagpagawa ng soccer ball cake ang nagbansag kay Lynette bilang Cake Fairy.
Okay, well, we had to cut that short, but you can listen to the whole episode and other episodes there about Filipinos in China, in Xiamen, in Beijing, and in other towns and cities and provinces by logging on to China Radio International.
Okay.
And the interviewer there, si Mac Ramos, is a Filipina who's working with China Radio International. She's been there also for decades. I think she's there with her child, and I've seen her Facebook pictures with her mother there visiting different places. You were saying while we were watching why China is being portrayed with such negative images here in the Philippines when we have had such a long history with China.
Yes, that's really surrealistic because our relationship with China goes back to the 15th century. There was the galleon trade, which was the triangular trade of China, Philippines, and Mexico. And then, so we had been dealing with China trade-wise and up to the time that up to the present time, actually.
Right,
there has not been interrupted, actually, to the point where now it's our probably second biggest trading partner. In a few years' time, the number one.
If you consider Hong Kong as part of the entire trade with the China, with the One China policy, it is the biggest trading partner.
Right.
So
I mean, there are Filipino manufacturing facilities there, banks. We are one of the big investors in China, and China is a big investor here. So sometimes I don't understand why this animosity has crept up.
One final question, since you're also big in the coconut industry, you were chair of the Philippine Coconut Authority before. And you were telling me off the air earlier before we started, that is one of the biggest imports China will eventually get from the Philippines.
China can absorb every kilo of coconut that we produce in this country. And, just to show, to showcase one product, and there are many more: fish, vegetables,
Bananas, of course, they're already consuming.
Bananas, yes, and they can't have enough of it.
Okay, well, we'll have more time to discuss that after this next segment and this break.